I'm Josh with Waupaca Community Media, joined once again Aaron Jensen, say Waupaca, Ron Sorry from the Waupaca School District. Get up to date with what's going on in Waupaca right now. How are you guys doing?
Hey, terrific.
Good.
Good. So there's two top of mind topics probably with a lot of our residents. The first one's the downtown Main Street reconstruction project, and we learned last week when that's officially kicking off. What can you tell us that we can expect on that first week of that project, and when is that going to be, Aaron?
All right, a lot of years of talking about it. We're finally starting to move forward. So March 29th is going to be the opening date for that project. The first step is that Fulton Street and Main Street intersection will be closed for 3 days. After that first 3 days, they're going to shift to North Main Street, and you can see that, expect that to be closed for about 3.5 months. And then they're going to shift back to the Fulton Street intersection. That'll be closed again for about 19 days at that time. And then the south end from Main Street to Badger Street intersections, those will be, or Fulton Street to Badger Street intersections will be closed in the last leg of the project. And that'll be another 3 to 3.5 months. So all in all, March 29th to end of October is what we're looking at. And we're already kind of talking about kind of a little celebration event at the end of October that maybe we can tie to Halloween and get some of that civic engagement and community pride back after a year of pandemics and not being able to get together in events. And we're excited for all that. So Justin Behrens, our Public Works Director, and you, Josh, as our Community Media Director, have been doing a fantastic job communicating with our downtown business owners, our public, through different meetings, through our public informational meetings, attending separate ones. So everyone, if they want, I'm providing a 30,000-foot view of this right now. But if you want more detail, I know there are detailed meetings that are posted on our website.
If people go to downtownwaupaca.com, that will bring them right to the page on our website that has everything about this project.
Yes.
And you can sign up for email updates there. So that's the place to go.
Yes, sir. And I'll conclude it with that.
So the second topic that's top of mind on people is COVID. And Ron, you've got some great news. Your staff's getting vaccinated this week.
That's correct. Today is the day. And today is Wednesday. Well, it's St. Patrick's Day, the 17th of March. And in the afternoon, we're going to be going over to the WLC and getting our vaccine. And it's the Johnson & Johnson, so it's just a one dose. And after a period of a week or so, we will be fully immune, we hope. That's the plan. And we're very excited about this.
The other thing to be excited about related to COVID is the WIAA got their guidelines out for spring sports, and you've got some fantastic news there.
Yeah, you know, the bottom line is that there was nothing really that we didn't expect. Because all the sports are outside. Once athletes begin warming up, they will not have to wear a mask while they're competing. That's one of the good news pieces that I wanted to share. All of the other same COVID basics that we previously expected in the fall and in the winter sports are still in place, such as screening, cleaning, those protocols, the cohorting and record keeping for contact tracing, that all still takes place. Each sport requires masks when they're on the sideline and physical distancing as well, just like in the others. But there's 3 tiers as far as for attendance. Obviously, the first tier are the essential individuals, which would be our athletes, our coaches, our officials, and the staff piece. The second tier are what they call preferred, and that would be the media. And then the third tier, what they call non-essential, which includes spectators. And that's one that is pretty important to us because a lot of us that want to go to these events we haven't been able to because it's been limited to 2 or 4, depending on the activity, spectators that could attend. And we're hoping that a larger number of spectators will be able to attend our spring sports than in the past. And that'll be dependent on 2 things, our county as well as our athletic conferences and what the districts all come to agreement on. But we're pretty excited that we're going to be able to open up, hopefully, for more spectators to attend these events.
And Aaron, you brought up an interesting point before the interview about this year's spring sports season.
Yeah, well, when we were talking before the meeting, it kind of clicked in my head that it's crazy. The seniors that'll be participating in this spring season, they have not played their spring sport since, they were sophomores, because as juniors it was canceled entirely. Or if they were maybe in 8th grade last time, some of those sophomores, they thought they were going to get that high school experience as a freshman. This is actually going to be their first year of high school ball or track or whatever it might be. So I think that's pretty cool that they're getting back on the diamonds or the tracks or the fields. And hopefully we can get more people out there to support them. And I will look forward to it if I'm able to do that. So.
And then Ron, speaking of COVID, the last little thing, I know we didn't talk last week, it was spring break, but how are the numbers looking for the district? Are they still trending in a good direction?
I just gave a report last night at our board meeting, Josh, and shared what I called the health of the district. And because it's really been one full calendar year now. It started out to be 2-3 weeks to flatten the curve, and now we're a full 365 weeks into this, what I call personally the crazy COVID mess. But yeah, things are still trending in the right direction. Our daily average out for a classroom teacher, it had been as high back in November as 15 or 16 classroom teachers out on any given day. Right now, we're at about between less than 1 on average up to the most 2 over the last 4 weeks. So that's just exciting. And when we look at the daily average for any staff member out for a COVID-related reason, we were up to the highest for our staff was 30. One day we had 30 staff out. Unbelievably, we still were able to keep our doors open based on the flexibility and the effort of our great staff. Right now, yesterday, for instance, we only had 1 staff member out. And remember, in November, we had 30. Now, for the students, for a COVID-related reason, yesterday, Monday, I should say, we had 26 students out. That's one of our lowest so far this year. Wow. For a COVID-related reason. And the highest that we had back in November, one day we had 256 students out quarantined for some kind of COVID-related reason. So from 256 right now, one of our lowest is 26. So, it's just a lot more to celebrate, to be happy about, especially, just talking about now we have the vaccine, and the majority of our staff are going to, have that immunity. And another one is when you look at our cohort, that cohort of ours with students and staff are 2,445 people. The most that we had with a positive in our cohort throughout this whole time in November was 11. And we had that on November 5th, November 20th through the 24th. We had 11 in our cohort out positive. As of Monday, we had 1. Wow. and we have had several days where we have had 0. So we're proud of that. The county data continues trending well as well. For instance, on March 6th, our 14-day average was 3.35 on March 6th. That was our lowest since July 5th. And our highest 14-day average that we had was on November 10th. We had 51.57. Now we're at 3.35. So we're at the beginning of July to places where we haven't been in since May. For instance, on March 14th, which was just Sunday, the county, we had the most number of days with 0 new positives. There were 4 days within that 14-day span. We haven't had that happen since May 27th. When you think of May 27th, that was the end of the span. We had 7 days with 0 new positives on May 27th over a 14-day period. Now we're over half that amount, but with 4 days on March 14th that we had the most number of zero positives, 4 days with zero positives. So yeah, that we're excited about the data, and we're going to keep watching it, because if things change, we'll have to adjust. But we keep lessening the restrictions as things continue to go in the right direction.
That's great to hear. And the other success we've talked about before, you've kept your doors open the whole school year, which that combined with what's going on right now is just fantastic.
Thanks, Josh. I appreciate that.
So another big thing coming up, and this ties in, it's done by the city, but ties into the school. There's a big school board election coming up, or that's going to be the prominent thing on our ballot on April 6th. And Aaron, absentee voting starts when?
Next week. So absentee voting starts next week. And I think after this year, everyone's a little more familiar with and maybe comfortable with absentee voting. And then in-person voting will be Tuesday, April 6th. So
I know we've got school board on there. We've got council seats up. I believe state superintendent's on there. So there's a handful of things that are very pertinent to our area on this election.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it'll be good. It seems like every time we turn around, there's another election. Time flies. So, but yeah, I think obviously our clerks are working hard. Our clerk Sandy and deputy clerk Barb, and you know it's I don't know, an election in a non-COVID time is going to feel like a breeze after this past year. So.
And then the last set of great news we've talked about on and off. We got Greg, the grant writer, that's working jointly for the school, the city, and the Chamber of Commerce, helping getting money into our community. And you guys have some success stories on the work he's doing.
Yeah, Josh, Greg, the grant writer. I like how you phrase that. That's what I'm going to call Greg when I see him next. Greg, the grant writer. Well, we're pleased to share. He wrote a grant called the Mental Health Program Grant, and he wrote it, and it's a $48,000 grant. And I'm happy to say that we did receive the grant.
Very good.
So what this is through our Gaggle therapy, there'll be teletherapy sessions available for some of our students with this mental health grant that's worth $48,000. So extremely happy with Greg's work there. Greg is also, he's working on another one with our Director of Student Services, Lori Schmidt. And this one is called School-Based Mental Health. And this is through the DPI, the Department of Public Instruction. And it's for $75,000. And so that one's in the hopper. It's due May 3rd, and they're working on that. And we're pretty excited about that. So far, Greg has written 3 grants during the month of February. You know, this is his 7th month on the job as a grant writer for us, for our community. And in the month of February, he wrote 3 grants worth almost $1.2 million. But year to date, Greg has, between the city, the chamber, our community, and the school district, he has been awarded $139,000, almost $140,000 of grants. And 5 grants approved so far in the 7 months that he's been working. So he has, you know, the benchmark we had, Josh, was 100 grand. If he could do 100 grand in awards over his 12 months, we thought that was success. Well, we have to raise the bar now, because in 7 months he's got well over 100. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the 12 months it's $250,000 that he'll bring into this community. So just what a great thing for our community to have.
And the cool part, that enhances what's going on. That's not tax dollars coming out of people's pockets. That's not stuff people have to pay for locally. We're going out there and finding money to bring into this community, and that's the really cool part.
Totally agree. I'll piggyback on that a little bit, Josh. And that's one thing that whether you're a school district or a municipality or whatever it may be, you know, you have your priorities, and there's only so much money to go around, and we're trying to do things with less all the time. And obviously education is a top priority for Ron and the school district. And for us, a lot of times it falls in with accelerating economic development, public infrastructure, public safety. But we all know that the things that drive people to communities and what make people want to come to communities is that quality of life stuff, whether it's parks, libraries, programs, that type of stuff. But a lot of times those municipalities or school districts, we just sometimes don't have the funds to prioritize that. Greg, the grant writer, gives us the opportunity to focus on that in a different way with non-taxpayer dollars, and still build in those areas and make our area a place that everyone wants to be. And that's the real gem in this whole thing. And I mean, I can't say enough, as Ron said, about the job that he's doing, and we feel like it's an incredible asset. I'll share a little story quick. We had another community, another superintendent of schools, village administrator, and actually I think a neighboring city administrator kind of asked to meet with us and say, we want to come up with something like that. And I have to credit our boards and everyone involved for taking a collaborative approach, because it doesn't always work like that everywhere. And when we've said this a couple times, but when you're all working in the same direction or paddling in the same direction, it's amazing how much you can get done. So anyway, it's really exciting.
Well, Ron, Aaron, appreciate all the great news we're hearing, and getting the community up to date. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.